Every single day, modern general partners stare at dashboards, dig into spreadsheets, chase numbers that don't tell the whole story, feeling like something crucial is always slipping through their fingers. It's exhausting. The endless hunt for the right signal in a sea of noise, trying to convince limited partners that you're not just another fund, that you're the force that breaks the mold instead of bending to it. You know it's not about chasing vanity metrics, yet the pressure to prove worth through shiny but hollow numbers buries you alive beneath layers of cliché KPIs that don't measure what truly fuels the fire inside. The tension builds, burnout intrudes, clarity vanishes. The pain is real, because every metric that doesn't matter is a whispered lie, feeding a system designed to process, not to honor the extraordinary. Let's be brutal. The game is rigged to reward mediocrity. It's set to favor the copycats, the keepers of comfort, the believers in illusion rather than truth. They want you wearing a chain of their making, measure by their rules, conform to their scales, parrot their definitions of success. But you? You're not here for comfort. You're here because you refuse to live someone else's manufactured reality. You crave a different kind of metric, one that sparks transformation, one that aligns with the fire that has always burned inside you. The relentless will not to just survive, but to sweep away old systems and build something nobody dared imagine. So what do real metrics that matter look like? What signals can cut through the noise and truly reflect the power you wield as a modern GP who is not content with just managing capital, but with moving the needle on the future itself? First, forget the standard IRR. Forget just tracking dry cash multiples. Those numbers are just the tip of the iceberg, and they drown the substance beneath a sea of bluster. The real metrics start inside the networks you build, the caliber of relationships that turn whispers of opportunity into thunderclaps of impact. Ask yourself, are you measuring the velocity of aligned connections that fuel deal flow, or just the volume of leads? Because one is transformative energy, the other is noise. Look deeper. How quickly can your capital twist the fate of ventures that challenge the status quo? The true metric? Time to impact. How fast can your funds move from commitment to meaningful change in the companies you back? Speed here isn't reckless, it's purposeful. It demands a rare combo of insight, decisiveness, and relentless execution. This is a level few dare master because it requires shedding every last weight of bureaucratic thinking, rejecting consensus, and embracing the painful edge where true progress lives. Next, measure the resilience of your portfolio founders. Not just their numbers, not just their business models, but their mental grit, their obsession with rewriting the rules, their refusal to accept a borrowed life. How many founders in your fold are willing to burn everything down and start anew, to risk it all for a vision that terrifies and excites in equal measure? Because capital without courageous founders is a ship without a sail. It drifts, lost in a sea of sameness. Then, obsess over alignment. The money you invest has to move in harmony with the founder's fire, not call it extinguished or diluted. So how do you capture this? Through deeply rooted metrics of cultural synergy, shared values, and mutual conviction. This isn't something you find in a spreadsheet. It's a living pulse, a chemistry test between wills. The only way to truly measure it is by how crises of faith are weathered together, how friction is met with ferocity and faith instead of fractured trust. Don't let the world trick you into thinking scaling is about collecting more assets or inflating your firm's size. That's poison masquerading as growth. Real growth is selective. It's about sharpening the lens, choosing the right few to build an ecosystem so tightly woven that it multiplies power exponentially. So measure your selectivity and your network density, the thickness of the web of brilliance you cultivate, the way every single connection sparks greater collective force. Also, watch your own capacity for transformation. Are you evolving with your investments, or are you trapped in formulas rewritten last decade? How often do you question your own assumptions, your patterns, your best practices? The survival metric of the modern GP is how quickly you can unlearn the old and reinvent your approach before market cycles even whisper their secrets. This is more than agility. This is transformation as a constant state. None of this is easy. You will be tested. The pain of breaking comfort is deep. But every metric that shifts you closer to the edge, where true power breathes, is worth it. Because the alternative is a slow death in the house of illusions, the world drowning you in cheap signals of success that leave your soul starving. Here's the secret. The metrics that matter are invisible to those who cling to comfort and conventions. They live in the tension between what everyone says and what few dare see. They are forged in the crucible of relentless questioning and hard truths. Real metrics measure your sovereignty. Do you command your will or let external noise hijack your decisions? You need to track how often you break from the herd. Are your moves driven by pressures or by your radical vision? Your freedom to choose, to be sovereign in thought and action, is the deepest, most powerful metric you can cultivate. Critical thinking itself is a metric. It can be observed in how your firm handles dissent, how openly you question what everyone else swears by, how you don't just nod at the status quo, but challenge every assumption. When was the last time your GP team radically revised a key strategy because of uncomfortable, undeniable evidence? Measuring this isn't easy, but you can embed it in processes, encourage brutal honesty checkpoints, foster spaces for dissent, and reward the courage to break molds. Transformation isn't one metric. It's the sum of all others aligned toward a new reality. How many of your investments are not just surviving, but actively redefining markets, spawning ecosystems, creating new categories? When your portfolio companies aren't just riding waves but creating tidal forces, you know transformation is real. Last but never least, patience. The world worships speed, but it's the patient game that wins. Track your patience in terms of runway managed, relationships nurtured, slow burn deals cultivated, without the rush for instant gratification. True power always favors the long game, the quiet work done outside the spotlight, the trust built brick by brick, the foundations laying firm beneath every leap forward. If these metrics become your obsession, network velocity, time to impact, founder grit, alignment chemistry, selectivity, transformative reinvention, sovereignty, critical thinking, and patient power, you don't just run a fund. You become a force that shifts entire realities. Because modern GPs aren't just money managers, they're architects of the future's new foundation. They embody the freedom to dismantle illusions, unlock latent brilliance, forge rare connections, and unleash creations that no system can contain. This is a call to shed illusions and false comforts, to tear down the prison walls built of outdated metrics and false narratives. The true metrics you hunger for exist in the intersections of courage, alignment, transformation, and sovereignty. When you tap into those, you don't just measure success, you multiply it. You turn the invisible into the undeniable. You become the rare force that changes stories, flips truth, and redefines what's possible. The pain of current metrics is the pain of chains. The liberation metrics are the pulse of fire running through your veins, the proof that you are the rare, the radical, the relentless few. Harness them, own them, obsess over them, and you won't just survive the future, you will own it. Every second spent chasing these truths is a second invested in freedom. The system is not broken for everyone. It's broken for those who refuse to be ordinary. You were never meant to settle. The right metrics don't just track what's easy, they reveal what's vital. Embrace them, and everything changes.